So we omit section 2.3, which is all about graphing lines. If you don't know how to graph a line, you do need to go back and do that section. You can look at it in the e-text, and you can also go online to YouTube or Khan Academy and find videos on how to graph lines. We're going to move on into section 2.4, which is graphing circles. So the very first question I'm going to ask is, well, what is a circle? By definition, a circle is simply the collection of points that are the same distance from the center. In other words, if here's the center and you go out a specific distance, we'll call it R, then you have an infinite number of points that are the same distance away from it. And that's what a circle is. And hopefully your circles look better than my circle does. So the standard form for the equation of a circle is x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared is equal to r squared, where the center is at the point h comma k, coming from this h and this k, and then the radius, that's that distance out from the center, is equal to r, which is the square root of that constant, whatever it is. It is important to note that because you're pulling these items out of the parentheses, notice the sign change. Here it's a minus h and here it's a positive h, so be careful with that. So we're going to dive right in and try a couple of them, making sure you understand where the center is. So example 1 simply asks us to write the standard form of each equation of the circle, with the given information, and then graph each circle. Sorry. I was trying to read and talk at the same time. Sometimes that does not work. So example 1a tells us that the center is at -2, 5, and the radius is 2. So we're going to take that information and we're going to plug it into this formula. So x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared is equal to r squared. So we would have x minus that minus 2 plus y minus the 5 squared, and that's going to be equal to 2 squared. So cleaning this up, this becomes x plus 2 quantity squared plus y minus 5 quantity squared is equal to 4. So here's the standard form for the equation. Now we can come in and graph it. So we know that the center is at -2, -2, positive 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to go out 2 in all directions. So what I like to do is graph the compass points. So in other words, north, south, east, and west. So from here, I'm going to go to the right 2, left 2, down 2, and up 2. And then I'm simply going to connect those in a circle. So there it is. There's our circle. Part B on that problem. I always tell my in-person classes that we'll make a pact. If you don't laugh at my circles when I draw them on the board, when I look at your homework, quizzes, or exams, I won't laugh at your circles either. So it sounds like a good idea. Part B tells us the information this time is that r, the radius, is the square root of 5, and the center is at 0, -1. So again, plugging it into the x minus h squared, that would be x minus 0 squared plus y minus that minus 1 squared. That's going to be equal to the square root of 5, which we're going to have to square. And of course, we expect you to clean that up. That would be x squared plus y plus 1 quantity squared is equal to, well, the square root of 5 squared is 5. So there's the equation, circle. We still need to graph it. In order to graph it, I'm going to have to take a little bit of license with the square root of 5 and recognize that it's approximately 2.3, 2.2. Approximately 2.2, because that's how far out I need to go. So our center is at 0, 1, so it's on top of the y-axis. And I need to go out a little more than 2 in each direction. A little more than what I've labeled as 2 on the board. And there's our circle. So a couple of comments before we move on to more challenging problems. The general form of the equation of the circle. So general form is x squared plus y squared plus bx plus cy. I'm sorry. The one that they gave me. Ax plus by is equal to c. We won't use this one very much, but sometimes they're going to give us the equation in this form and expect us to graph it from the general form. We'll stick with the standard form because it's our preferred one. And for those of you moving on into a pre-calculus class, not pre-calculus algebra or college algebra, but a pre-calc class, The unit circle, which is the most famous circle, the one that trigonometry is built on, has an equation of x squared plus y squared equal to 1. So notice its center is at the origin, 0, 0, and its radius is 1. So the unit circle literally is the circle that has 1 unit as its radius. And that's why it's called the unit circle. So two very famous circles. That's a very famous circle.